Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Tonight on Our News, 2 men accused of the 2015 murder of a teacher have their convictions overturned. An Exuma resort is nearly fully booked heading into 2022. Why the singing bishop is giving thanks and passing his blessings on. Plus, an Eleuthera family hopes to rebuild after losing their home. Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina Dragovich. Topping news tonight, 2 men exonerated in the murder of a Queens College elementary school teacher and a retrial ordered for the alleged shooter. The attorney representing 2 of the accused speaks with our Berthany McDermott.
To start off, I'm baffled at the situation. It's one of the quite a few Court of Appeal cases that I did, criminal appeals, I should say, that I did, whereby the evidence just was non-existent.
John Mackey was convicted of murder, attempted murder, conspiracy to commit armed robbery, and attempted armed robbery, while Amando Sargent was found guilty of manslaughter, conspiracy to commit armed robbery, and attempted armed robbery. Their sentencing were quashed and no retrial ordered. Mackey and Sargent were advised that barring any other matters keeping them in prison, they would be freed. According to the prosecution's case, they were not the shooters. Their attorney, Christina Galana, says the matter shouldn't have gone to court.
The law says that the co-accused of the person who had the firearm had to have had knowledge of the weapon before the act was committed. In this case, in relation to both Amando Sargent and Johnny Mackey, there was absolutely no evidence.
In November 2015, Joyelle McIntosh and her son were driving along Pargate Road near the Village Road Junction when her son noticed the man laying in the road. Police say the teacher swerved to avoid hitting that man and moments later was shot in the neck. Her vehicle crashed into a wall. Her son exited the vehicle and escaped under gunfire. The men were charged alongside a minor.
The police don't know that the co-accused of the shooter had to have known of the existence of a firearm. And then the Office of the Attorney General, they would have compiled the voluntary bill of indictment and said that this case is a strong enough case to go directly to the Supreme Court. The lawyers in the Office of the Attorney General didn't know.
Now, Galana says this isn't the first time she's seen incidents like these. She believes more oversight is needed in the police force and the Attorney General's office to prevent individuals from experiencing this hardship.
There has to be proper training of police officers for them to, first of all, know that, in certain circumstances, you ought not to even charge the person.
The minor, who is now a 23-year-old, will remain behind bars as he awaits a retrial unless he successfully applies for bail. Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
In other news, with concerns of the more transmissible Omicron variant mounting, an Exuma resort says business is looking promising. Here's Berthany McDermott.
The Grand Isles Resort and Residences in Emerald Bay, Exuma, boasting 90% occupancy through the Christmas season, and early bookings show full occupancy in early 2022, according to resort manager Robert Sands.
We are now in the high 80%, and through festive, we will be in the high 90s. For the new year, we are sold out through the whole period of New Year's. From the 27th of December through the 2nd of January, Grand Isle is sold out.
The news comes as the threat of the Omicron variant increases and is rapidly spreading across the world. Like many other resorts in the country, Grand Isles was forced shut during the pandemic. Sands says locals played a significant role in getting tourism back on track.
Bahamians have supported Grand Isle after the pandemic, and we've embraced them. We've offered promotions to allow them to come in, but outside of that, our numbers have been exceptionally well. Grand
Isles is a 78-unit villa resort sitting in the heart of Emerald Bay, Exuma, with 2 restaurants, a spa, and retail stores. As for the workforce, Sands says up to 75% of the resort staff is back to work.
We just relaunched our new restaurant, so that required 15 to 20 new employees, and as we begin to open up, we will bring people back.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
About 20% of all vaccine doses administered every day around the world are being given as booster shots, according to World Health Organization Director General Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus. However, he says it comes at a time when only half of WHO's member states have vaccinated 40% of their populations.
2022 must be the end of the COVID-19 pandemic.
As Omicron becomes the dominant strain of COVID-19 in the world, the WHO today issuing new guidelines for healthcare workers,
recommending the use of either a respirator or a medical mask in addition to other personal protective equipment when entering a room where there is a patient with suspected or confirmed COVID-19.
The WHO says respirators, which include N95, FFP2, and other masks, should be worn in care settings where ventilation is known to be poor. This comes as only half of WHO's member states have reached the target of 40% vaccination before the end of the year, partially because of vaccine inequality.
Enough vaccines were administered globally this year that the 40% target could have been reached in every country by September, if those vaccines had been distributed equitably.
Meanwhile, WHO's Strategic Advisory Group of Experts on Immunization, or SAGE, is noting that blanket booster programs will worsen vaccine inequity.
Our projections show that supply should be sufficient to vaccinate the entire global adult population and to give boosters to high-risk populations by the first quarter of 2022.
Dr. Ghebreyesus says while 2021 has been a painful year, we cannot allow it to be a wasted year, as WHO again encourages countries to reach the 40% vaccination target as quickly as possible and 70% by the middle of 2022. There needs to be better enforcement of COVID-19 protocols at large gatherings, according to Consultant Physician Staff Association President Dr. Sabrika Pindler-Butler, who's joining a growing list of health experts expressing concern over recent events. This comes as the country recorded 79 new COVID cases yesterday. 73 of those cases were reported on New Providence.
At this particular time, more than ever, it's very critical that we follow protocols and try to continue to practice those preventative measures such as washing our hands, social distancing, and avoiding large gatherings as much as possible so that we can try to mitigate any potential surge that could be overwhelming to our country.
Outside Cabinet on Tuesday, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville admitted some Ministry of Health approved events are breaking the COVID rules.
We know that despite us sometimes having rules and regulations, unless we have persons who are policing those things, similarly with seat belts, etc., we just aren't always able to police ourselves on our own. So I think that the ministry perhaps needs to look again at re-engaging the COVID police, the ambassadors, etc., to perhaps visit these activities before they occur and perhaps visit while they're going on.
A cool, windy day in the capital. Greg Thompson has the latest from the Weather Center.
Thanks, Christina, and welcome everybody for your first look at weather on this cool Wednesday evening. What a difference a day makes. Temperatures last evening were in the upper 70s, but right now at 70 degrees under mostly clear skies. Those clouds are starting to clear out. North-northwest wind, still a little breezy out there, 40 miles per hour. That's bringing in that nice cool air mass and your feels-like temperature in the upper 60s. Satellite view, front of boundary pushing through the central Bahamas right now with some showers and isolated thunderstorms ahead of that, starting to move into southeast Bahamas. But behind that, we are enjoying a nice invasion of cool air mass, and we will continue to enjoy that tonight through tomorrow. That's your first look at weather. Your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, food in plates and smiles on faces as the singing bishop gives back. And what Grand Bahama residents can expect from a proposed power rate hike. That's coming up when our news returns.
Get that glorious internet connection back in business within seconds with the new self-help modem reset. Just follow these very easy steps. Step 1, call 601-2200 or 242-300-2200. Number 2, select option 3. Step 3, select option 2. Step 4, enter your 8-digit account number. Step 5, follow the prompts. It's really that simple. Rev, you and us together.
They say the holidays is a time to give, and that's just what the group of senators and Rev employees did today. The group not only donated to Singing Bishop Lawrence Roll's feeding program, they also helped to feed hundreds of people today. Jasmine Brown reports.
For well-known religious leader and social media sensation Singing Bishop Lawrence Roll, there is only one way to describe the help he received today.
I never see this. You know how much people y'all gotta feed today? Boy, y'all gotta make sure Ben Gay's still on the market. Because y'all gonna need Ben Gay. I put y'all on the front line.
Roll got some much-needed assistance from senators, Rev representatives, and on-air personalities from Hot 91. From volunteering to monetary food and toy donations, Roll says he was overwhelmed by the outpouring of support. It came the same day as his weekly feeding program, where he estimates he prepared up to 1,000 dishes for people in need ahead of the Christmas holidays.
When it rains, this church is leaking. My house on Prince Charles is leaking, but we continuously to feed. And this lady, the president, collect money. And they send things. The potato is their potato. Real talk. I feel so good today. And to see the humility, that's what moved me.
Roll says the demand continues to increase and lamented that it's growing hard to meet the needs of so many.
This is for real. This is the real deal. And we need help. I wouldn't get up here in a coat suit and said we don't need help. We need help. These are real people. They are Bahamian people. They are people come from all over the place. This place need help. I need people to come and deal with the young mothers, to talk to them. Let's find a way. Let us find a way, because January coming, the 17th, gonna make me 55 years old with a whole lot of grandchildren. Let us find a way where we can reach the next generation, and let's get these people from off the street.
Senate President Lachelle Adderley, Vice President Barry Griffin, and Opposition Senator Ruben Ramming were among those who volunteered.
It's very important that we're here, that we lend support, that we assist each other in these hard economic times, and that we do the best we can.
People think of the Senate or Parliament as only helping by the power of the pen, but it's very important for us to also be here on the ground, practically helping the people.
The importance of the day is it's another epiphany that there are no sides in need.
Now, the bishop says he plans on continuing his ministry in the new year, as he says the need will not slow down. Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Thanks, Jasmine. Residents and business owners on Abaco and Grand Bahama now have until the end of 2022 to import building supplies tax-free, as the Special Economic Recovery Zone, or SERS, order has been extended. The Ministry of Grand Bahama today announcing that the SERS order for building supplies has been extended through December 31st, 2022. It applies to building materials, plumbing and electrical fixtures and materials, household furniture, furnishings and appliances, and hardware supplies. The SERS order was designed to assist with the ongoing reconstruction and restoration of homes and businesses on Abaco and Grand Bahama after Hurricane Dorian in 2019. The Grand Bahama Port Authority's Regulatory Committee holding a virtual town hall meeting recently on the Grand Bahama Power Company's decision to seek a rate increase. GBPA Chief Financial Officer Deanne Seymour says the proposed base rate increase for customers who consume more than 350 kilowatt hours is between 12 and just over 13%.
Customers consuming 800 kilowatt hours are proposed to see an increase of $10.94 or 4.4% on their total bill. And customers consuming over 1,200 kilowatt hours are proposed to see an increase of $24.70 or 6.2% in their total bill. Commercial customers are proposed in every category to see an overall increase of between 4.3% to 4.4% in their monthly bill.
But what does the Davis administration have to say about it? In mid-October, an official statement from the Ministry of Grand Bahama indicated government will not support any rate increase proposed by the GBPC. The GBPA says while some residential customers and all commercial customers would see an increase in their bills, some residential customers would see a decrease. She added all customers who consume 350 kilowatt hours would not see a change in their bills. She says that accounts for 42% of customers.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
When our news comes back from the break, an Eleuthera family hopes for a home, plus new firefighting equipment for some family islands. The details when our news returns.
Get that glorious internet connection back in business within seconds with the new self-help modem reset. Just follow these very easy steps. Step 1, call 601-2200 or 242-300-2200. Number 2, select option 3. Step 3, select option 2. Step 4, enter your 8-digit account number. Step 5, follow the prompts. It's really that simple. Rev, you and us together.
This is our news. Welcome back. A family on Eleuthera is asking for your help to make the holidays a bit brighter this year after their home was destroyed by fire. Kyle Joaquin has the story.
Oh my God.
It was a day they would never forget as the Kelly family watched their home in Lower Bogue, Eleuthera go up in flames.
Oh Lord.
My son went for the fire truck. By the time he got the fire truck, it was no water in the truck. So it take a bit more time for him to put water in the truck to reach the scene. By the time he reached there, the roof just about gone.
That happened in late November. A month later, nearly 20 of them, including a baby who called that place home, now share a space in the Methodist Church Hall. With their personal belongings stacked against the wall and cots made up in the open space, they say they are grateful for the help and make do with what they have.
If you can see it, you can see how it is now. We hope that soon, very soon, that they'll be able to get over here and into a better place. But for now, we thank God that it was available.
The property on which the extended family home once stood has already been cleared, and Keith Kelly says there is a plan to rebuild better, but they need your help.
I have another gentleman who helped the backhoe. He said that he was in governors, but as soon as he finished, he will be here. He'll come down and he will proceed on the building for us. And I have another gentleman also in Gregory Town. He said that he was going to send the sand down to us.
Kelly says building supplies would go a long way to help this extended family in their time of need. There's an account set up at JBR, and they're praying someone will be moved in the spirit of Christmas to help. In the meantime, they are grateful to the Methodist Church for showing up when it was needed.
Thank God that this was here, and Pastor Derek Lico, he come in and he assists and he say, okay, this is what he's going to do, and here it is. And I pray God blessings upon him and also the leaders over him.
For Our News, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
4 new fire engines are set for North Eleuthera, Abaco, Exuma, and New Providence to fight both aircraft and building fires. Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper unveiled the bright new trucks Tuesday.
An aircraft fire is considered a Class B fire due to the large amount of jet fuel on board. And these vehicles' response is set up to provide as much foam and chemical firefighting agents to combat an aircraft fire quickly as possible to minimize the impact on its passengers and on property.
A $4 million Inter-American Development Bank loan financed the new fire engines. Cooper says this is only the beginning of a significant investment into the aviation sector.
On a higher level, these are particularly important for our family islands where firefighting equipment is always in demand. And I am extremely pleased that Eleuthera, Exuma, and Abaco will be the beneficiaries of these equipment as well, as oftentimes in the family islands we tend to feel a little left out.
Still to come, a special gift for senior citizens. Stay with us.
Get that glorious internet connection back in business within seconds with the new self-help modem reset. Just follow these very easy steps. Step 1, call 601-2200 or 242-300-2200. Number 2, select option 3. Step 3, select option 2. Step 4, enter your 8-digit account number. Step 5, follow the prompts. It's really that simple. Rev, you and us together.
Welcome back to our news. How long will these cooler temperatures last? Greg is in the Weather Center with a look ahead.
Thanks again, Christina. Welcome back, everybody, for your second look at weather. As that front boundary now pushes into the central Bahamas, showers and isolated thunderstorms ahead of that starting to move into the southeast Bahamas. We will continue to see that front boundary can push towards the southeast. High pressure behind that is going to provide some very nice weather for us over the next couple of days. We're starting to see those clouds clearing out across the northwest and portions of the central Bahamas. So we're going to enjoy some very cool temperatures tonight. Temperatures should get down into the low 60s, and then we experience some mid-70s tomorrow before the Christmas days start to warm up by the weekend. But that high pressure system will start to slide off towards the east. That will turn our winds more towards the east. So we are seeing that warming trend beginning on the weekend. Boating forecast for all areas tonight through tomorrow. Your winds will be out of the northwest and north at 15 knots. Seas running 3 to 5 feet over the ocean. High tide will be at 9:59 tonight. Here's a look now at your national forecast. A look now at your extended forecast through Wednesday. Nice weather for your Christmas holidays. Do enjoy it. Back to you, Christina.
Thanks, Greg. Well, the Consultant Physician Staff Association is making the season a little merrier for residents of the Persis Rogers Home for the Aged. CPSA President Dr. Sabrika Pindler-Butler and Vice President Dr. John Dillett presented the home with a $2,400 check.
I would just hope that this contribution will help to inspire and motivate other members of the public, corporate organizations, and our civil partners to also give. If you can, please give. There are so many people in need, so many people who have been affected by the pandemic. So we need each other as a community, as neighbors, even more than ever. So yes, the CPSA wants to lead in that direction, but we encourage all of our members, our neighbors, our community, our sister and brother unions, etc. Please do what you can.
Home Administrator Shirley Clark says the money will go a long way in getting items they need.
We do appreciate the donation because this year was a very, very difficult year for us. And we appreciate anybody who can help us right now.
Well, thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Christina Dragovich. Stay tuned for tonight's Hallmark movie On the 12th Date of Christmas, brought to you by Janae's Chesapeake Road 5 Days of Christmas Give Back. Get up to 20% off selected items. Have a beautiful evening, Bahamas.